Maseches Brachos Daf Lamed Zayin. The Gemara discusses the halacha of kol sheyesh boy michamishes haminim v'orich Allah of boy minim zaynis. Whatever has in the taruvis boy minim zaynis, you make him on the whole mixture boy minim zaynis. Rabbi Yashiv and his Aris declares interesting yisaidistic chakira how to understand this halacha of kol sheyesh boy michamishes haminim v'orich Allah boy minim zaynis. That means even if it's the minority of the taruvis, you still make on the whole taruvis boy minim zaynis. So you can understand it two ways. Is the pshat that since the boim name Zaynis is so choshev, it's not bottle, or it's not because it's so choshev, it's not bottle. It's because the point of boim name Zaynis is because it's midi mid design. It's something that nourishes, something that sustains a person. So therefore, even a food that only a part of it has mezainis in it, the whole taruvis, the whole food, has the chashivas of a midi design. This is a food that's zayin, even though it's only a small part of it. He says, you have a raya from the fact, if it will be like the first sad, that'll be because something that's choshev, it's not bottle. So it should pertain to another item that's so choshev, you make al eitz on, also should have the same halacha, and you don't find it anywhere else. You only find it by Baimin Zainis. You see, it's a specific halacha by Baimin Zainis that the entire taruvis gets the chashivas automatically as a midah design. With this, he answers a very shver of Haigoin that's brought in the Rajab in the Sugya. Over here in the Sugya, the Gemara discusses that Rav Shmuel is mavur from Rav Shmuel two things, that oiris v'doichin, the halacha is that you don't make a Baimin Zainis on it. And also a taruvis of oiris v'doichin, you don't make a baimin zaynis on it. On that, the Gemara says if you have oiris v'doichin by itself, the Gemara brought a tufta from Rav Shmuel that you do make baimin zaynis on it. So most Rishonim understand that there's two separate discussions over here: oiris v'doichin by itself and taruvis. However, if Haigoin says that since the sugi is mashma like Rav Shmuel that a taruvis you don't make a baimin zaynis, so the same thing would pertain that we hold like Rav Shmuel even by oiris v'doichin by itself that you don't make a baimin zaynis. So the Rajba says it's a pella. The Gemara is not mashma like that. The Gemara is mashma, it's two separate halachas. So Rabbi Yashiv says that the understanding of Haigoin is, according to what he explained, that the hagdara of kol sheyesh b'mechamesh aminim v'varich ala baimin zaynis means that's not because it's choshuv and therefore it's not bottle. If that would be the case, then the Rajba's argument is right. That oiris v'doichin, although it's mezainis, maybe it's not so choshev to have this new din that it's not bottle. But since the way Rabbi Yashiv explained that the Agdara is that if you have somewhat of the mixture of mezainis, then the entire taruvis has a din of mezainis. So these two things are totally zebazeh. How much the oiris v'doichin by itself is a mezainis, so automatically it will be that the taruvas will also make the entire food into a bari mine mezainis. The Mara calls bari nefashas v'achar v'loy klum, which is very hard to understand. Why do we call it v'loy klum? It's not as choshev as benching, as main gimel. Why is it called v'loy klum? So it was mashma that since it's not a chiyuv, it's just a reshus. That's why it's called v'loy klum. It's a chiddush. But there's a Rajban Chuvis, brought him and Daniyantov over here, that explains, and its reason why it's v'loy klum is that all other brachas mention the item you ate, the eitz, the mozin. Masha'en kain bar nefashos does not have any mention at all of the item you just ate, so therefore it's called the achra v'loy klum. He says even shakal ni b'dvaroi, it's inclusive bracha, but it's referring to all items eaten. Masha'enki bar nefashos, even a general mention, doesn't have the item you ate. The Shuri Ashel Shleima says that, but it could be this is oimik kavona as harajba. That he explains that Tosis says in the Flamites Shemari that since bar nefashos is a lav bracha chashuvehi, so therefore even less than kazayis you make a bracha, which is tzarchiyat. There's v'slav bracha chashuva, so you should need more to mechayev a bar nefashos. So Ashel Shlomo says, you see from this Taisus, a Chiddush Gadol in the Get the Bar Nefashos, that Bar Nefashos is not going on a shvach on what you just ate. It's just when you eat, you have to make a shvach HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Bar Nefashos, Rabbis, V'chazroin, and it's not going what you ate. So therefore, even Pachas Mikazayis is Mechayiv of Bar Nefashos. And according to this, he explains, that's what we say V'achrav Leiklum, because it's not going a shvach on what you just ate. The Gemara says further on, brings a story of Gamliel and Rekiva was sitting and they were eating Tmorim, and Gamliel's opinion was that even on Paris or Shivas Aminim you have to make a full benching 3 brachas. And the Gemara brings a story that he asked Rekiva to bench and he made only main Gimel, and Gamliel got very upset at him. Why are you getting involved in Machlokes? He should have benched 3 brachas. And then Rekiva said, no, you're a yachid and we pass like the Rabbim. It's very hard to understand what was the time of Gamliel to say that Rabbi Kiva should have made 3 brachas. Gamliel knew that the Chachamim disagree with him. There's 2 pshatim to explain this Gemara. The Gaon in Shnei Eliyahu says that since the Gemara says in Afyud Beis that Tmorim, amazing Zaini, and you could be Yoitza with 3 brachas, with benching on Tmorim, so therefore, that was a way out to get out of the whole machlokes with benching. The Sharet Tzion says a different pshat in this Gemara, and he says, according to this explanation in a Chiddush that you find in Achronim, the Magen Avram writes that if someone has a suffix, if he has to bench, he should bench again because Sveika Deraisa L'chumra. The Dogma Rava asks, why should you bench? Because it's Sveika Deraisa L'chumra. L'chayim Mideraisa Yoitza with Me'en Gimel. So why do you have to bench? And that the Sharet Tzion says, Yisoid, that since you have to go back and say at least Me'en Gimel, so then you're mechuyev to go and say the whole 3 brachas to be Yoitza on how the Rabbanan interpret the Chiyuv of Birchas Hamazon. The Sharet Tzion says a riot to this from Kriya Shema. If you Mesupik say Kriya Shema, the Rambam's opinion is you have to go and say Birchas Kriya Shema. So he says, according to this Yisoid in the Pshat in the Magen Avram, we can understand the Gemara over here that Reb Gamliel's taina to Rabbi Kiva was that since you regardless you have to say Me'en Gimel, so mainly mechuyev to say all 3 brachas. So a similar discussion we spoke out in Daf Tazayin that Rabbeinu Yoina says, yes, a kasha that is more of this mavur, that if you have a suffix in Kriya Shema, you have to go back to the beginning of where Ad Sheteitze HaSuffix Miliboy. So Rabbeinu Yoina asked, the Chayr Shmuel holds, that's the Kriya Shema is the Rabbanon. If it's the Rabbanon, you should not have to go back to the beginning. So Ben Yaina says, since you're Oisik in Kriya Shema, you have to do the entire Kriya Shema. So he spoke out of the 2 pshatim. Why is it? Why do you have to do the entire Kriya Shema? You should say Sofik the Rabbanon Lahakol. But Yashiv says that no, since you're being Oisik in Kriya Shema, Chazal said he wants to be Oisik in Kriya Shema, you have to do the proper Kriya Shema. And Mr. Zalman says that since the whole Hagdara in Sofik the Rabbanon L'Kula is a b'di'eved lo yitrichu to do it, but how much you being Oisik in Kriya Shema, you have to do the entire Kriya Shema without any suffix. So it's a similar idea over here in this Sharet Tzion, that how much you mechuyev to go back, regardless to the Me'en Gimel, you mechuyev to do all 3 brachas, which to be mekayim the mitzvah on the level, the way the Rabbanon stellt avek the mitzvah of benching.